Flosstube. My name is Daphne, and this is my Flosstube number 7, I believe. Today is April 1st of 2021, and this is my channel where I talk about all of my cross-stitching progress that I've made in the previous month of March. So, let's get started. One thing that I did was, excuse me, is I had to work on a piece that, I have to find it here, hang on one second, here we go, one piece that you could tie to your family, and I chose to work on one that is called, it's just a camper, a tent, in the silhouette of a moon, and I put 1,000 stitches in on this one, so it was just a new start, so there's no befores to say, but this is where it is currently. I started in the middle in this top row, did the color completing in this section with these colors. These empty spaces that are here that you can see are going to be white. I just hadn't gotten to that point. And this is 22 count Ada. I'm doing it one over one on this one. And that was what I did for that one. And then I also did some more work on my pandemic, my long dog. I got 134 stitches, and I also did 800 stitches on it, and then I was working on one of the prompts for 1,200 stitches, and I didn't quite get that all finished, but that's okay. This is on 30 count barley corn linen, 1 over 1. So this is the color. It's like a yellow, and it's with Mrs. Sada's silk in hydrangea, and I still have thread on my needle, but this is where we are now. Hang on one second. Fold it just a little bit better. There we go. Now you can see it all. I worked down on this page here, on page 2. Stabbed myself. Finished out this strip here, started working on this section, brought some of the border down. This is attached to my needle, and these are just my waist threads. And as I get close to them, I just snip them off, just like I do on my other full coverage pieces. So this is how wide my piece is going to be. It's not that big, but yeah, that's how wide it will be. Not sure how long it will be, but it's not going to be too big. It's 1 over 1. I had to do that because I misordered the fabric, and I didn't have the funds to, order a new piece, and wall space is limited, so I just figured I'll just do the 1 over 1, and we'll work out the back stitching as I go after I finish it all off. The next piece that I did get caught up on, and now I'm behind because the new release released a couple days ago and I haven't worked on it yet, is the Caterpillar Made to Create Mystery Sal. So it's all things that are made, that make up things that you can create with. I finished part 1 and part 2, and I have part 3 that I need to work on, but that's okay. They don't take very long to work on. So here is part 2 and part 1. Part 1 was the E, and the camera, and the puzzle piece. The E, there's a crochet hook, there's a needle with the thread, and a crayon, a colored pencil, and the paintbrush tube. Part 2 was the 2 buttons, the ball of yarn with the 2 needles, knitting needles, and the string coming out of it, and the scissors with the 2 quilt squares. And part 3 is a tape measure that goes all the way around, and the letter R, which is a paintbrush and a embroidery hoop with a little quilting star in the middle. And I don't remember what the up point is of the R. Let me look. Oh, a skein of embroidery floss is the up part of the R. The circle part of the R is the embroidery hoop. The the paintbrush is the little diagonal part of the R, and then there's the tape measure as well. And I believe, yep, that is all on this one. So it won't take very long to do when I pull it out to work on it. And this I worked on for 100 stitches for 2 different people in the movie that we were watching, Enchanting Stitches, which was Meet the Robinsons. And so that got 200 stitches. It got over the 200 stitches, but I used it for those 2 prompts. And I also started, a little behind on this one, but the I don't have a full picture of it all, but it's the Stitching Book Club Sense and Sensibility Stitch Along. That's part 1, part 2 was released, and now part 3 has been released as well. I'm just taking my time on it. Not a rush for me to finish it. And I'm using all the called for DMC. I grabbed this, I believe it's 28 count, from Hobby Lobby, and I got I believe it was 300 stitches on this one. And it's just in the very, very inside of the flower. You can't see, but there is white stitches in there. There you go. So there's white stitches, and then there's a little bit darker color, and then there's a little bit like a tanny color in there as well to make the flower. I enjoy working on this one. I stitched this one in hand. Some of the pieces that are little like this, that are not full coverage, I will stitch in hand. Just because. Just easy to do when it's little like this. So that one got the 300 stitches that I needed. It was 346, I believe, is what I got on that. And that was for one of the characters whose name is Joe. He likes to just lounge and read books, so that's why I chose that one. I also got some stitching on my best friend's piece. That one got over 3,000 stitches, because I used it for a prompt. Then they broke that prompt into 2, and if you wanted to complete both of those pieces of that prompt, you would have to do 1,500 stitches each for those 2 people. For that prompt, I also did it for another prompt for 143 stitches, and yeah, so that got those. The total stitch count that that piece got this month was over 3,000 stitches. So that's not too bad for that one. And then I also used my boyfriend's piece, the Game of Thrones piece, for some of the prompts as well. So I, was working in this diagonal, might have been finishing out the diagonal before it, but I did finish this diagonal all completely out and started working on the next diagonal. These are all my parked threads, and these are the ones that I'm currently working in on the diagonal. These ones here are the ones that are parked for the next diagonal, and all of these are all the waist threads. So as I get this diagonal filled in, I'll come in and cut the ones that are in the next diagonal, and I'll just keep repeating it and going all the way across, and then I'll come back and start over here on this side and do the same thing. As I get to these ones that are in the diagonals, I'll just snip them and just keep working my way. I do that until I get to the left side. Once I get to the left side, then I'll park my threads, my waist threads going down. If I can't park them going down, then I'll turn it over. I'll turn it over and just weave in the back. So there's the Game of Thrones piece. This piece received 200 stitches for one of the prompts, and this was also one of my whip go goals for March, which was 10 days, and I did that. And the Made to Create Sal was another one of my whip go goals, and that was to get one part done, and I did that, and I finished the second part as well. No, I had the first part done. My goal was only to get one part done, and I did get the second part done. So that met that goal. And this one, like I said, received 10 days. That is all that I worked on this month. Didn't get a lot of stitching time in because I had to go take a trip to pick up my dad in New Hampshire and bring him back down here with me in Southwest Arkansas. So I flew up in on the 10th, I think, 10th or 11th of March. I stayed up there for a week. And then him and I drove from southeast New Hampshire all the way down to Arkansas. That was a 3-day drive. So I did a little bit of stitching each night or each afternoon when we got to the hotels that we stayed in. We stayed in Erie, Pennsylvania, and we stayed in Bowling Greens, Kentucky. So I did bring things to work on with me when we were there, while I was up there for the week, and for when we got to at night in the hotels. But it wasn't all as much stitching time that I had in the past. And I'm adjusting to a different bit of a routine. Here we've been doing now that the weather's getting nice, we've been doing some yard work, getting the house ready, all the spring cleaning, spring home improvement things that we want to do here. So my stitching time is a little different than what it has been in the past. So I might be showing less projects, more projects, but maybe less stitches in them. But that's okay as long as I'm still working on them. They're just the progress will be a little bit less, which is fine. But now we'll go to what I plan on working on this coming month for April. The WhipGo numbers for this year. WhipGo is a group on Facebook that was done by a very nice lady by the name of Jessie Marie, and her YouTube is Jessie Marie Does Stuff. And what it is basically it is almost like a bingo board, and there's 25 spaces. You can put 25 projects on it. You can put 24 projects. I have 24 spaces. Some of my spaces are double of some of my full coverage pieces that I want to see get some good progress in this year. So the numbers were called for this month, for April, and it was number 3 and number 21, and number 3 was this piece again. So this piece will get 10 days, at least 10 days this month. And it is also going to get some, I believe some attention in the monthly enchanting stitching challenge group, for the movie that we're watching this month. And 21 was a new start. I think I'm going to start working on my boyfriend's stocking. I don't have a picture of it with me, but I'm going to do a little customization to it on the top. It's going to be white, and his name is going to be in red, and then it'll start with the design. It's a Heaven and Earth design stocking. I don't remember exactly which one it was, but that's what I figured I would do for the start for this month. And that is slated to get 1,000 stitches within the month, which I'm sure I can do. That's no big deal. That's not hard for me to do in a month. So the movie that we are doing this month in the Enchanting Stitching group is Lady and the Tramp. So one of the things is post a photo of your family furry friend. And there is now 2 dogs in the house. My dad has a dog. And we're still dog sitting. So we got that one all set. A Christmas theme project. That one is going to be used in conjunction with the Whip Go, which is my boyfriend's stocking. So that'll get 1,909 stitches. So that'll get me the 1,000 for Whip Go plus finishing out this prompt as well. A piece that you call by your nickname, that one is going to be the model stitch that I'm working on. A piece that you've modified, and that is going to be Pandemic, because I'm doing it 1/1 instead of 2/2, and I might have to modify the back stitching when that all comes. I've done some, but I don't like the way it looks. So those will end up being torn out. I'll rip those out and redo those as well. A piece that has food is going to be this piece here. It's the Sporting Dogs piece, and I'm going to say that there's food because I'm going to say this is a little picnic basket, or his little fishing basket, his fishing bag, and in there, he probably has a couple little snacks that he took on his little fishing hunting trip with him. So this one is going to get approximately 600 stitches this month. And this is where this one is currently at. So I have a good option of where I want to stitch. I can work some more on the basket over here. I can come up and work on the dog, or come work on this dog, or work on the duck, or finish this dog. I've got some good options to do with this one as well. And then blue, there was a prompt, because the collars on the dogs are blue, black, and red. For blue is going to be the piece that I'm working on for my best friend, because I'm be working with the blues. Black, again, will be my Game of Thrones piece, because pretty much every single diagonal has some black in it. So I can get the black in that as well. Haven't decided what the red is going to be. The piece that almost didn't happen is going to be my pandemic piece, because I wasn't sure if I was going to just say, alright, well, I'll put it aside until I can get the funds to buy a bigger piece of fabric, but then I'm like, no, I'm going to use the piece that I have. I don't have a lot of wall space, like I said, so having it smaller works better for my house. A piece you can relate to Dalmatians. Once again, I'm going to use Game of Thrones, because with Dalmatians they're black, they got black spots. That piece has a lot of black. And then I'm not sure what I'm going to do for a piece with a different view. And then 20 hours into a project, I figured I'd pull out this piece. This was the first one I started. It takes a teacher's heart to help shape little minds. This is where it currently is. I've only got this here, and then the little minds, and a couple crayons over here, and then another ribbon down here to finish. And then this one will be done. I have another one that I started for another friend of mine. This one would most likely be mine. And I gotta personalize it as well. That's what else I have to do on this one. And this one I stitch in hand as well. And that is all that I have for my progress on my projects, what my plans are going to be for my projects. I have no finishes this month, just the finish on the Made to Create Sal that I finished before the third piece came out. Now I have the third piece to work on, but that's okay. No biggie. I can do it. Not a lot of haul. The only haul that I received was the Black Needle Society stitching on the go stitching subscriber box. I'll just go over it real quick. I did an unboxing, but some people they can get into those kind of videos. But here's the tote bag. Everything is stuffed inside the tote bag. It says I went to my craft room and all I got was this tote bag. And then inside we have a cross stitch wallet. I'd rather be buying cross stitch. And then here's a leather bracelet. It says, not everything that counts can be counted. Not everything that can be counted counts. And then this one is cool. This is a stand for your phone. So it does just stand up. And it says Flosstube, anywhere, everywhere. So you can stand your project up on it. You can stand your phone up on it when you're watching YouTube and stitching. So that was kind of cool. And then there's floss drops that are made out of map paper. So you get the drops and the ring. And then we've got the spoiler card that talks all about them. But then on the back, they give you spotlight from the first box, and there is my picture that I took of the contents of Date With Your Stitching box. And then here is the pattern that was in it. It's Half the Fun from Ink Circles, and it's all like transportation themed things. So there's hot air balloons in the middle, there's looks like a bus, there's airplanes, helicopters, looks like there's an animal of some sort, bicycles, the train. So that one's kind of cute. And then there's this notions bag, or you could put a small project in there. It's always an adventure with you. Winnie the Pooh. And I like Winnie the Pooh, so I like this a lot. I like everything in the box, but then this is the stitch marker. The needle minder, it says resting stitch face. So I like that one. That's cute, and it's really light. So that'll be nice if used on a project that I'm stitching in hand. Won't be weighing the piece down. And then there's also the Stitch Me hand-dyed silk in bouquet. So there's 8 yards of this. It's very soft. All kinds of colors. Not sure what I would do with this. Something special. And then there was a protein puck, Wonderlust gluten-free vegan bar. Have a little snack on the go with your stitching. And then there's the little tray that you can snap the snaps together. And you can put your orts in there, or your scissors, or whatever you're using at the time to just throw it all in there. And then the last thing, little travel scissors. So then you just open up, and there you go. You got your scissors. I like the little hook on the end. Close them up. And there you go. There's your little scissors. So, I liked that. And it was very nice to come home after spending 3 days on the road. Spent a week and a half away from home. And that was waiting here for me when I got home. I managed to avoid all the spoilers. Didn't see anything until I did the unboxing myself. The video of the unboxing was me actually the very first time opening the box. So what you got was real first time seeing that unboxing. Seeing all the supplies that were in that box. That was kind of cute, kind of cool. So yeah, some other things that I do want to, that are on my radar to start, are these 3, well, it's going to be 4, because I'm going to make 3 of these, but I'm actually going to change them onto regular, like an even weave fabric. I have, one of my nieces has had 3 children already, so I figured I would change, the bunny color, their pajamas to the colors that each of the 3 children like, and their names and all their birth information as well. So I have 2 kits, so that's why I said I'll just put on regular fabric so I can just change the colors and go. So I have to make 3 of those. And then I have this here. This is an Artisty cross stitch carousel fantasy horse that I just had bought in a while ago and came across it when I was going through my stuff, and I figured that my oldest great niece would like this, and I might make another one for my youngest great niece as well, and change the colors, or might just make it the same but then personalize it with their names on the bottom. So this is something else that's on my radar to start. Not sure when I'm going to start it, but this is just something that if I'm not feeling any of my pieces, then I'll pull out one of these. But I need to get the fabric for the other ones first before I do those, before I start those ones. So my total stitch count with the prompts from Enchanting Stitching from last month was 5,873. There might have been more stitches that I didn't count, but those were just the ones that were counted for the month. So, yeah. that is all that I have for today. And I want to say thank you for watching. Welcome back to any new current subscribers, the returning subscribers, and welcome to any new subscribers. I hope that everybody has a great April, and I will be doing a Stitch with Me again this month, and we will see you in May. Alright, have a great one, guys. Bye.